Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us on the WWL Louisiana News at 4. I'm Devin Bartolotta. Here are today's top headlines. An audit of the Orleans Parish Sheriff's Office appears to have found multiple violations. The review shows the department violated Louisiana's Constitution and state laws in regards to how they handled public works projects, and they may have violations tied to late bill payments. The audit also claims that while the OPSO payroll increased by about 55%, the staff only went up by 8.6%. The department says they, quote, strongly dispute some of those claims. County police say that they've arrested a man who they believe was trying to steal copper from the Esplanade Mall. They say back in March, an officer saw the door to the old Macy's propped open, and when they went inside, a pulley system had been hooked to a car battery to pull wires straight out of the wall. Around $25,000 worth had already been removed. Detectives eventually arrested Jason Chapman when he showed back up to the mall last week. Police say nearly 1,000 pounds of copper was found in his home. The town of Killian has been dealing with dirty water for years, but now the mayor is demanding answers from Governor Jeff Landry. In 2024, the state health department appointed Magnolia Water to manage the town's water, and last year the company officially bought the system. But Mayor Caleb Atwell says Magnolia Water's recent filter installation failed, leaving residents without water for 2 days. In a letter posted last night, the mayor says the company has not responded to his questions about when it will reattempt the installation, if they'll be transparent through the process, or if they'll provide bottled water to residents. Atwell is now asking the governor to push Magnolia Water for answers. If you live in New Orleans East, you have until the end of the day to let the city know what you think needs to be done in the neighborhood. Mayor Helena Moreno is looking for feedback on the Connecting New Orleans East project. A few proposed changes include improvements and upgrades to lighting, bus stops, pedestrian signals, and crosswalks. But officials say they want to make sure the plan reflects the needs and priorities of the community. We have a link to that survey at WWLTV.com. We are continuing to track the legislative session in Baton Rouge. Lawmakers voted down the Louisiana Voting Rights Act in committee, killing Senate Bill 365. It would have put into law many of the voting protections currently up for debate with the Supreme Court case, Louisiana v. Calais. We talked with one of the authors of the bill, State Senator Royce Duplessis, back in March about what he had hoped it would accomplish.
This bill is about the fact that the Voting Rights Act and representation, as we've known it since 1965, is up for a decision before the U.S. Supreme Court, and we don't know what the future holds. So rather than wait to see what the Supreme Court is going to decide in Louisiana versus Calais, this is the Louisiana legislature's opportunity to say where we stand on voting protections.
A bill that would raise the minimum wage in Louisiana hit a roadblock too. The House Labor Committee voted to kill legislation that would have started it at $12 an hour. Right now, the state follows the federal minimum wage of $7.25 an hour. That was set back in 2009. We're one of only 5 states that does not have a state minimum wage. Local towns and parishes could soon be able to decide whether, to remove fluoride from their drinking water. Lawmakers are moving forward with a bill that would allow communities to opt out. This chemical has been used in public water for decades, and some water systems are required to add fluoride to help prevent tooth decay. But there have been unsubstantiated concerns that it could lower children's IQ. The proposal has drawn strong opposition from medical and dental groups who say fluoride is safe at current levels. We'll continue to follow these bills closely. A scary moment has now led to a lasting tradition. A few years ago, 2 men were enjoying French Quarter Festival when one suffered a medical emergency and the other stepped in to save his life. Meg Parish joins us now with more on this remarkable story and how the pair are still connected today. Meg, I'm so interested in what this story is about.
Devin, we did that story a few weeks ago at a Mardi Gras parade where right place at the right time, someone saved a man's life. This was 9 years ago, and a man had come in from Cape Cod with his family. It's his daughter's birthday. They go to the French Quarter Fest, and he collapses in cardiac arrest. And at the right place at the right time, a man who used to do safety inspections and rescues at plants and refineries just happened to be there and started the chest compressions. But all these other ducks fell in a row with a trauma doctor there, trauma nurses there, outside of a building that had an AED, one of the automatic paddles that shocks your heart back into rhythm. And 9 years, this man comes in every single year on the same day and takes these people who saved his life, as particularly one man, out to dinner. And every year he cries and says, why me? Why did I get to live? Because everyone said you would be dead. You should be dead.
Yeah, wow. I mean, serendipity in one of the weirdest ways. So you talked to them today?
I talked to both of them.
Okay.
I talked to the man who did the chest compressions and saved his life.
Wow.
He was fun to talk to. And then I talked to the man who just went back to Cape Cod, and it's life-changing. And these people to this day still tear up because sometimes you just wonder, what was the bigger picture? Why me? Why did I get to be saved?
All right.
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock. All right. And he's doing well now, I guess, huh?
He is doing well. He's almost 81 years old. And he's doing well. The man who was saved.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. That's such an amazing, another great Meg Ferris reunion story. I love them.
Oh, I just love having the pleasure to tell him, the honor to tell
awesome.
him. So.
All right, Meg. Thank you so much. Remember, you can always find the latest updates on this story and all of today's headlines on our website, our free smartphone app, and on our social media pages.